Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the unseen forces that may be silently affecting your peace and well-being. The home, which should be a sanctuary, often becomes a battleground, not for what you see, but for what you cannot. Let's dive into understanding the 5 spiritual weaknesses that may be quietly inviting unwanted forces into your space, and more importantly, how you can fix them swiftly to restore balance and protection to your life. The first spiritual vulnerability that draws unwanted forces into your home is the lack of spiritual awareness. Many individuals live their lives unaware of the subtle energies around them, energies that over time erode the sanctity of their homes. It's easy to become complacent, to assume that everything in your space is simply the result of physical actions or decisions. But in truth, your surroundings, your home, are influenced by much more than what meets the eye. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt a shift in the atmosphere? A sudden heaviness, an unexplained sense of discomfort, or even a lingering tension? This is not just coincidence. It's the result of an energetic imbalance, a spiritual void that, if left unchecked, can attract negative forces. When there is a lack of awareness, these energies are allowed to fester, slowly creeping into the corners of your life, your relationships, and your environment. You may not notice it at first, but over time, this spiritual neglect builds up, creating cracks in the foundation of your personal space. And the more these cracks remain unnoticed, the more vulnerable you become. It's like leaving the door to your home wide open and expecting no one to enter. Spiritual awareness is the key to recognizing when that door is open and what is slipping through it. Without this awareness, you unknowingly invite chaos, confusion, and conflict into your life. What many fail to realize is that everything in your environment holds energy, whether it's the objects, the people, or the atmosphere you've created. Your home is not just a physical structure, it's an energetic field. Your thoughts, your emotions, and even your actions have an impact on the energy in that space. If your home is filled with unresolved emotions, toxic relationships, or cluttered thoughts, it becomes a magnet for negativity. Negative energy thrives in chaos, in confusion, in spaces that are ignored or neglected. Now think about this. When was the last time you took a moment to really assess the energy in your home? Have you ever considered whether the atmosphere you've created is one of peace, love, and harmony? Spiritual awareness isn't just about recognizing the negative forces, but also becoming intentional about maintaining a positive, clean energy within your space. It's about recognizing the signs of spiritual weakness before they have a chance to take hold. So how do you begin to address this lack of awareness? First, it starts with self-awareness. You must take responsibility for the energy you bring into your home. Your thoughts, actions, and even words shape the environment you live in. Start by paying attention to your emotional responses when you enter certain rooms or areas. Notice the shifts in energy and take immediate action to restore peace. This could mean clearing out clutter, removing objects that carry negative memories, or even just taking time to meditate or pray in the space. But that's just the beginning. There are deeper layers to this process, and recognizing spiritual weakness is only one part of it. The next step is even more critical, and it will require you to confront aspects of your life you might not have considered before. Are you ready to face what's waiting in the unseen corners of your life? Well, stay tuned, because the next step will reveal a truth that could change everything. The second spiritual weakness that invites unwanted forces into your home is unresolved emotional baggage. We all carry emotional wounds, whether from past experiences, relationships, or situations that have left us scarred. These emotional residues, even though they may seem long forgotten, have a lasting effect on the energy of your home. You may have dismissed these emotions, buried them deep within, thinking they no longer have any power over you. But the truth is, unresolved emotions don't just disappear, they linger, affecting the energy of your home and life in ways you might not even realize. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you walked into a room and felt an overwhelming sense of sadness, frustration, or even anger without understanding where it came from? Perhaps it's a space tied to a difficult memory, or maybe it's a place where arguments and tension once filled the air. These emotions though you may think they've been dealt with, leave an imprint. And that imprint doesn't just fade away, it stays in the fabric of your environment, continuously attracting negative energy. When emotional baggage is not dealt with, it creates an energetic void in your space. It's like a magnet that draws in more negative energy, feeding off the unresolved emotions that still linger. Imagine this: you've had a difficult argument or a stressful experience, and instead of addressing it, you suppress it. Over time, that unaddressed energy festers, and it begins to color everything around you. Every thought, every action, every interaction becomes tainted by the emotional weight you've carried. But there's more: emotions are contagious. Have you ever noticed how a person's mood can affect the entire room? One person's unresolved anger can spread like wildfire, impacting everyone around them. The same principle applies to the emotional energy within your home. If there is unresolved pain, regret, or anger that's not processed or released, it can infect the entire atmosphere. It becomes a breeding ground for negativity and conflict, often manifesting in ways that are difficult to pinpoint. How do you deal with this emotional baggage? The first step is acknowledging it. You must face the emotions you've been avoiding. It's easy to sweep things under the rug, but doing so only ensures that they remain there, slowly eating away at the energy of your home. The key is to process and release these emotions in a healthy way. This might mean confronting past pain, having difficult conversations, or simply allowing yourself to grieve. The emotional release you experience will transform the energy in your home. It's not enough to just move on and hope it disappears. You need to actively clear out the negative emotional energy that's accumulated. When you do, you create space for positive energy to fill the void. This is where the real shift happens. The energy of your home starts to feel lighter, more peaceful, and more inviting. And you'll begin to notice something else happening in your life. Your relationships improve, your stress levels drop, and your sense of well-being increases. But while this emotional clearing is powerful, there's still more to address. Emotional baggage is just one aspect of a much larger issue. The next weakness, in fact, may be even harder to confront. It goes deeper than emotions and touches the very core of your life and environment. Are you ready to dive even deeper into what's really holding you back? Stay tuned, because the next step will open your eyes to something you might have overlooked entirely. Boundaries are essential in every area of life, especially when it comes to the energy you allow into your personal space. A home should be a refuge, a place of peace and rejuvenation. But when you fail to establish clear boundaries, you open the door for negative influences, both from people and external forces, to seep into your environment. Without boundaries, you're essentially giving permission for unwanted energies to enter freely, and the consequences can be far-reaching. Think about how often we allow others, whether they're family, friends, or even strangers, to dictate the energy in our space. When there are no boundaries, your home becomes a revolving door for emotional, mental, and even physical baggage. People enter your space and bring their own unresolved issues, their personal struggles, and their emotional turbulence. And if you don't establish limits on what's acceptable, you become the dumping ground for their energy. You may not notice it right away, but over time, the energy in your home begins to feel heavy, tense, and chaotic. Boundaries at their core are a way of protecting your peace, protecting the energy of your home. They act as a shield, ensuring that only the energy you choose to allow in is welcomed, and everything else stays outside. It's not about isolating yourself from the world or shutting people out. It's about knowing where to draw the line, recognizing when someone or something is draining your energy, and taking the necessary steps to guard your space. A lack of boundaries, on the other hand, can lead to exhaustion, confusion, and even a feeling of being overwhelmed in your own home. But here's the real problem. Many people don't even realize they have no boundaries. They think that being kind or accommodating means accepting everything that comes their way, and this often includes the negative energy others bring into their life. Whether it's an emotional outburst, a judgmental attitude, or constant negativity, without boundaries, you unknowingly invite these toxic forces into your home. And once they're inside, it becomes increasingly difficult to remove them. This lack of boundaries also affects the energy you bring into your home. Have you ever noticed how your own mood can influence the atmosphere around you? If you're stressed, anxious, or upset, that energy will ripple through your home. Without boundaries, there's no way to protect your space from your own emotional turmoil. And when you're constantly giving out energy without replenishing it, you begin to feel drained, disconnected, and ungrounded. So what can you do to fix this? The first step is to become aware of your boundaries. Start by evaluating the people and situations in your life that drain your energy. Are there relationships or interactions that consistently leave you feeling exhausted or out of balance? It's time to start saying no, to establish clear limits on what's acceptable in your space. It's not about being harsh, it's about being honest with yourself and taking responsibility for the energy you allow into your life. And as you begin to set these boundaries, you'll start to feel a shift in the energy of your home. The peace and harmony you've been craving will begin to return. But even this isn't enough on its own. There's another layer to this process, one that goes beyond boundaries and starts to touch the very core of your being. The next step, as crucial as it is, requires you to face an uncomfortable truth about the energy you're holding onto. Are you ready to face? Stay tuned, because what comes next could transform everything you thought you knew about the energy in your life.
The fourth spiritual weakness that allows unwanted forces into your home is the presence of negative thought patterns. Your thoughts shape the reality you experience. They are the foundation of everything in your life, from your relationships to your health, and yes, even the energy in your home. What many people fail to realize is that negative thoughts don't just exist in isolation. They have an impact on the space around you. When you allow negative, self-limiting, or fear-based thoughts to dominate your mind, those thoughts create an energetic ripple effect that extends outward into your environment. You've heard the phrase, energy flows where attention goes. What this means is that the more you focus on negative thoughts, the more you attract negative energy into your life. Imagine waking up every day with a sense of dread, thinking about all the things that could go wrong, or worrying about the things you have no control over. These thoughts become a magnet for the very things you fear, bringing negativity into your home like a storm cloud hovering over your head. Over time, these negative thought patterns begin to seep into the fabric of your home, creating an atmosphere of tension, worry, and fear. Think about your thoughts as seeds. Every negative thought you have is like planting a seed that grows and flourishes in the garden of your mind. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and anxiety, those seeds will take root and spread, creating an environment that feels heavy and draining. You'll start to notice how this negativity begins to influence your actions, your decisions, and the way you interact with others. And before you know it, the very energy you've cultivated in your home becomes one of chaos, unease, and conflict. The challenge with negative thought patterns is that they are often subtle, creeping into your mind without you even realizing it. They may start as small doubts or worries, but if left unchecked, they can quickly spiral into overwhelming negativity. What's worse is that these negative thoughts feed off of each other. Once one negative thought takes hold, it's easier for others to follow, and soon your mind becomes consumed by them. When this happens, it's not just your mind that's affected, it's the energy in your home, your relationships, and every area of your life. So how do you begin to break free from these negative thought patterns? The first step is awareness. You must become aware of the thoughts you're allowing to dominate your mind. What are you focusing on? Are you constantly worried about the future, stressing over what might happen, or fixating on past mistakes? The more aware you are of these patterns, the more power you have to change them. Next, you need to actively reframe your thinking. Every time a negative thought enters your mind, challenge it. Replace it with a positive, empowering thought. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges in your life or pretending everything is perfect, but rather shifting your perspective. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, try thinking, I'm capable of handling this challenge. Instead of dwelling on the negative, focus on the possibilities. As you begin to shift your thought patterns, the energy in your home will shift. Your space will begin to feel lighter, more peaceful, and more welcoming. But this is just one part of the equation. There's a deeper issue at play here, one that ties into your sense of self-worth and your ability to truly protect the space you call home. Are you ready to uncover the next layer of protection? Stay with me, because the next step will reveal a truth that could completely transform your approach to personal boundaries and spiritual defense. The fifth spiritual vulnerability that invites unwanted forces into your home is a lack of intentionality in the energy you cultivate. In life, we often get caught up in the hustle, the daily grind, and the busyness of existence. We move through our days on autopilot, responding to situations, people, and events without giving much thought to the energy we are creating in our environment. But what many don't realize is that energy is not just something that happens to you, it's something you create. Every thought, every action, every word you speak adds to the overall energy of your home. When you are not intentional about the energy you're cultivating, you leave room for negative forces to settle in. Intentionality means being deliberate and conscious about what you bring into your space, both physically and energetically. If you allow your environment to be dictated by the external forces around you, whether it's the stress from work, the negativity from relationships, or the chaos of daily life, you lose control over the energy that fills your home. It becomes reactive instead of proactive. And when this happens, your home no longer feels like a place of refuge. It feels like a battleground, where everything from emotional turmoil to external pressures can freely enter and take root. The truth is, energy is contagious. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, the conversations you engage in, they all influence the energy in your home. If you're not mindful of what you allow into your space, you're essentially opening the door to negativity. Have you ever noticed how certain people or situations leave you feeling drained, exhausted, or unsettled? That's because their energy is affecting yours. And without being intentional about the energy you allow, you could unknowingly invite chaos and disruption into your space. Intentionality also means creating an environment that supports your peace, joy, and well-being. It's about setting the tone in your home, whether through the way you organize your space, the way you interact with the people around you, or even through the rituals you create. Think of it like setting the atmosphere. When you take time to intentionally curate the energy in your home, you create a protective shield that prevents negative forces from taking hold. This could mean starting your day with gratitude, setting aside time for reflection, or simply taking moments throughout the day to reset and refresh your environment. But it doesn't end there. Intentionality requires consistency. You can't just set a positive intention for one day and expect your environment to change overnight. It's a daily practice. It's about choosing every single day to be intentional with your energy, to protect your space, and to safeguard your home from the things that would try to disrupt it. When you are intentional, you are actively participating in the creation of the energy in your home. And when you do this, you set up a powerful force field that negativity can't easily penetrate. Now, while intentionality is a powerful tool for protection, there is something even more profound that you must understand to truly protect your home and your life from unwanted forces. This next step goes beyond just being mindful of the energy around you. It requires you to confront an area of life that might feel even more vulnerable. Are you prepared to face the deeper layers of your inner and outer world? Stay tuned, because what comes next could be the key to truly sealing your home from all spiritual weakness. You may not realize it, but your well-being is intricately tied to the energy of your environment. When you neglect your own needs, physically, emotionally, and mentally, you are leaving yourself open to external influences that can disrupt the peace and harmony of your home. The simple truth is, a depleted, drained, or disconnected version of yourself will struggle to maintain the energy of your home. You become like a worn-out vessel with cracks through which negativity can easily seep in. So many people are so focused on caring for others, meeting the demands of work, and fulfilling responsibilities, that they forget to care for themselves. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for maintaining the vitality of your life and the protection of your space. When you're running on empty, when your own needs are ignored, you become more susceptible to stress, anxiety, and emotional burnout. These feelings do not exist in a vacuum, they radiate outward, affecting everything and everyone around you, including the energy in your home. Imagine this scenario. You've been going through a stressful period, working long hours, dealing with relationship tensions, or just managing the weight of everyday life. You may think you're handling it, but over time, this lack of self-care builds up. You come home, tired, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. The moment you walk through the door, that energy fills your space. It doesn't matter how beautiful your home is or how much love you put into it. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're inviting that negativity to settle in. The more you neglect your needs, the more you open the door for unwanted influences to creep in. But self-care isn't just about taking a bubble bath or getting a good night's sleep, although those are important. It's about nourishing every aspect of yourself, your mind, body, and soul. When you take the time to nurture yourself, to replenish your energy, you're essentially setting up a powerful defense system against negative forces. A well-rested, emotionally balanced, and mentally clear individual can protect their environment with ease. It's like charging a battery. When your energy is full, your home becomes a fortress, shielded from the forces that would try to disrupt your peace. The opposite is true as well. When you neglect your mental health, for instance, the thoughts of stress, worry, and fear that plague you will spill over into your environment. They will influence the atmosphere of your home, and soon what was once a place of comfort becomes a source of anxiety. Likewise, when your physical health suffers, your energy becomes weaker and your ability to ward off negative influences diminishes. It all ties together. When you take care of yourself, you empower yourself to protect the energy of your home. And here's the real kicker. Self-care doesn't just impact you. When you start to nurture yourself, you also set a positive example for those around you. Your family, friends, and loved ones begin to feel the shift in your energy. They too will be encouraged to prioritize their own well-being, and together, you create an environment of mutual respect, peace, and positivity. But while self-care is a crucial step, it's just one piece of the puzzle. There's another layer to this, a deeper dimension that impacts how you relate to the world around you, and how you invite or repel energy. The next step may challenge you in ways you never expected. Are you ready to dig even deeper into the unseen forces at play? What comes next will require you to confront something that might be hiding right under your nose, waiting to be discovered. Stay tuned, because the next step will reveal a hidden truth that could completely change the way you protect your home and your life.
The seventh spiritual weakness that opens the door to unwanted forces in your home is the lack of clear purpose and direction. Purpose is the driving force behind everything you do. It's the fuel that propels your actions, shapes your thoughts, and guides the energy in your life. When you lack a sense of direction or purpose, your energy becomes scattered. You drift through life without a clear vision, and this lack of focus is reflected in the atmosphere of your home. A home without purpose becomes a space without intention, a space that is vulnerable to negativity, chaos, and confusion. Think about it for a moment. When you don't have a clear sense of purpose, your decisions become reactive rather than proactive. You make choices based on temporary emotions or external pressures rather than from a place of intentionality and clarity. This creates a ripple effect that extends into your home. Without purpose, the energy in your space becomes erratic. It feels disconnected, lacking coherence, and inviting uncertainty into every corner. And when that energy settles in, it makes your home a place that feels unsettled, anxious, and out of balance. Purpose gives you clarity. It's like a compass that points you in the right direction. When you have purpose, your actions are aligned with your values, your goals, and your vision for your life. This sense of alignment creates a magnetic energy in your environment. Your home becomes a reflection of the clarity you have within yourself. But without purpose, there's no alignment. Your home becomes a place of confusion, uncertainty, and vulnerability to external influences. Another danger of lacking purpose is that it leaves you susceptible to being influenced by others. When you don't have a clear direction, you start to follow the crowd, make decisions based on the opinions of others, and allow external forces to dictate the course of your life. This lack of internal guidance weakens your sense of self and makes your home a place where external energies, whether positive or negative, can easily infiltrate. Purpose also acts as a protective barrier. When you know where you're going and why you're going there, you are less likely to be swayed by distractions or negative influences. Your energy becomes focused and strong, like a shield that repels forces that would try to knock you off course. On the other hand, when you lack purpose, you become an easy target for those forces.
your energy is scattered, leaving your home vulnerable to disruptions. How do you begin to cultivate a sense of purpose? The first step is to look inward. Take some time to reflect on your values, your passions, and your vision for your life. What do you truly want to achieve? What legacy do you want to leave behind? When you begin to answer these questions, you start to build a solid foundation for your purpose. Once you have a sense of direction, you can begin to align your actions, thoughts, and energy with that purpose. But establishing purpose isn't a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. Your purpose will evolve as you grow and change, and it's important to continuously check in with yourself to ensure you're still moving in the right direction. When you stay true to your purpose, the energy in your home becomes more focused, clear, and aligned with your intention. This creates a space of peace, protection, and positive energy. However, cultivating purpose is only one step in a much larger journey. There's a deeper layer that many overlook, and it's essential for truly transforming the energy in your home and life. Are you ready to face the next step? What comes next will require you to confront a hidden force that might be operating right beneath your awareness. Stay with me because this next step holds the key to a deeper level of protection and peace in your life. The eighth spiritual weakness that invites unwanted forces into your home is the failure to properly cleanse and protect your living space. Too many people overlook the importance of energetic hygiene. Just like we need to clean the physical environment of our homes, dusting, sweeping, and sanitizing, we must also clean the spiritual and energetic atmosphere of our space. Every day, your home absorbs the energy that enters it. The energy from visitors, from the thoughts you carry with you, from the media you consume, and from your own emotions. If these energies are left unchecked, they can build up, creating an environment that feels heavy, oppressive, or even unsettling. And when the energy of your home becomes contaminated, it becomes a fertile ground for negative forces to take hold. But what does it mean to cleanse and protect your space? It's more than just opening windows to let fresh air in or burning incense. Cleansing your home spiritually means actively removing the negative or stagnant energy that has accumulated and replacing it with positive, empowering energy. This can be done in a variety of ways. You might use sound, such as ringing bells, playing music, or clapping in each corner of the room, to break up dense energy. You can also use sacred herbs or essential oils like sage or lavender to purify the air and remove unwanted energy. But the key is intentionality. When you take the time to consciously cleanse your home, you are setting the intention to remove everything that no longer serves you and to create a space that supports your well-being. Think about it: if you never clean your home, the dirt, dust, and grime accumulate over time, right? The same thing happens with your energy. If you neglect to cleanse your space, the negative energy from arguments, unresolved emotions, stress, or external influences builds up and begins to take root. Over time, it can make your home feel stagnant, heavy, and emotionally draining. If you've ever walked into a room after an argument or a tense situation, you know the kind of energy that lingers in the air. That same energy can accumulate in your home if you don't consciously clear it out. And just as important as cleansing is protecting your space. Protection isn't about creating walls of fear or isolating yourself. It's about setting up energetic boundaries that keep out negativity and maintain the harmony of your environment. Think of it like setting an energetic force field around your home. When you protect your space, you are ensuring that the energy within it remains strong, positive, and aligned with your intention. You may use visualization techniques, creating a mental image of a protective shield surrounding your home, or you might place objects in your space that symbolize protection, things like crystals, amulets, or meaningful symbols that resonate with you. Protection is also about being mindful of the people and energies you allow into your home. Just like you would lock your doors to keep unwanted intruders out, you need to be vigilant about the energy people bring with them when they enter your space. Sometimes a visit from a friend or family member can leave your home feeling different, heavier, more chaotic, or more tense. This is because energy is contagious, and when you allow negative, low vibration energy to enter, it can stick to the environment and affect everyone who lives there. Protecting your home means setting boundaries on the kind of energy that's allowed in
as well as actively clearing any negative influences that come from outside. Now, while cleansing and protection are crucial for maintaining a peaceful home, there's something deeper still that could be lurking in the shadows of your space, an unseen force that requires a deeper level of attention. Are you ready to face what lies beneath the surface? The next step will reveal a truth that could completely shift how you protect your home from both external and internal forces. Stay with me because this next step is not only eye-opening, it's transformative. The ninth spiritual weakness that invites unwanted forces into your home is the lack of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Most people go through life reacting to situations rather than responding to them consciously. They act on impulse, influenced by their moods or the emotions of the moment, without ever pausing to examine the true source of their feeling. This lack of self-awareness leaves you vulnerable to outside influences, because when you aren't aware of your own emotional state, you open yourself up to the emotional energy of others, both positive and negative. In essence, you give away control of your emotional environment. And when you do that, it's easy for the energy in your home to spiral into chaos, confusion, and imbalance. Think about this. Emotions are incredibly powerful. They are like an invisible force that shapes the atmosphere around you. If you are constantly overwhelmed by anger, frustration, sadness, or fear, these emotions seep into your surroundings, affecting the people you interact with, and even the very space you live in. These emotions linger in the air, in your body, and in your thoughts, creating a heavy, tense atmosphere. Over time, this can manifest in your home as a lack of peace, constant tension, or an oppressive feeling that is hard to shake. And without self-awareness, you may not even realize you're the one contributing to that energy. Self-awareness allows you to take a step back from your emotions, giving you the ability to recognize when your feelings are getting the best of you. It's about understanding what triggers you, why you feel the way you feel, and how to regulate those emotions before they affect your home. Emotional intelligence helps you process your emotions in healthy ways, rather than letting them fester and spill over into your relationships or environment. The more self-aware you are, the better you can manage your emotional energy and in turn protect your home from negativity. Emotional intelligence also includes the ability to empathize with others. When you have this ability, you can sense the emotional needs of the people around you and respond to them in a way that promotes harmony and understanding. Without emotional intelligence, you may misinterpret or react harshly to situations, escalating conflict instead of resolving. This kind of emotional turbulence, when left unchecked, can create a toxic atmosphere in your home where tension is always high and peace is elusive. But here's the thing, becoming emotionally intelligent and self-aware isn't something that happens overnight. It's a journey, one that requires reflection, practice, and a willingness to confront your inner world. The first step is recognizing that your emotions are powerful and that they impact not only your own well-being, but also the energy of your home. The second step is learning to control your emotional reactions, rather than letting them control you. This may involve taking time for self-reflection, journaling your feelings, practicing mindfulness, or seeking support from others. And over time, as you grow more aware of your emotional state, you'll begin to notice a shift in the energy of your home. The more balanced you become, the more balanced the atmosphere of your space will be. But emotional intelligence is just one part of the puzzle. There's still one last crucial element that often gets overlooked, yet it plays a critical role in keeping your home protected from negative forces. It's the unseen force that has the power to transform everything. Are you ready to uncover what's missing? The next step will provide you with a profound insight that could completely change how you protect and nurture the energy in your home. Stay with me because this final piece of the puzzle will be a game changer. The 10th and final spiritual weakness that allows unwanted forces into your home is the failure to nurture and cultivate relationships. Our relationships, whether with family, friends, or ourselves, serve as the foundation for the energy in our home. If these relationships are strained, unhealthy, or neglected, they create a constant undercurrent of negativity that can permeate every corner of your space. Think about it. When there's unresolved conflict, unspoken hurt, or emotional distance, that energy lingers in the air. It's not just about the arguments that happen, but the unspoken tension that's present even when no one is actively fighting. That unresolved energy creates an environment where negativity can thrive, and it slowly erodes the peace and harmony in your home. Relationships are the mirrors of the energy you carry. If you allow resentment, anger, or bitterness to build up in your relationships, you are inviting that same energy into your home. Homes are meant to be sanctuaries of peace and love, but when relationships are neglected or broken, that sanctity is compromised. Whether it's the tension between family members, a lack of communication with a partner, or unresolved issues with yourself, the imbalance in relationships will seep into your home, affecting everything and everyone who enters it. But it's not just about negative relationships, it's also about the relationships you're not paying enough attention to. It's easy to neglect the small things in relationships, thinking they don't matter, but the truth is, they matter more than you realize. The way you treat yourself, the way you show up for others, and the way you maintain connections with the people closest to you determines the energy that circulates in your home. If you ignore these relationships, they will become unhealthy, and unhealthy relationships foster unhealthy energy. When you take the time to nurture the relationships in your life, you begin to create an environment that supports positivity, connection, and emotional security. Healthy relationships provide a sense of belonging and safety. When you know you are supported and loved, your energy is stronger, and the energy of your home becomes a reflection of that strength. Every time you show up for the people you care about, every time you choose to heal old wounds, communicate openly, and foster love, you are creating a positive and protective energy field around your home. But how do you nurture relationships? It starts with communication, empathy, and care. Taking the time to listen, understand, and truly connect with those around you is the first step. Healing old wounds, practicing forgiveness, and letting go of past hurts frees up the space for love and positivity to thrive. And don't forget the most important relationship of all, the one with yourself. You cannot truly nurture others if you aren't nurturing yourself first. Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for how you show up for others, and ultimately how your home feels. So, as you work to nurture your relationships and create a loving, connected environment, remember this: the energy you foster in your personal connections will directly affect the energy in your home. A house filled with love, understanding, and healthy relationships is a house protected from negative forces. When you make the choice to invest in your relationships, you're not just improving your emotional health, you're fortifying the spiritual foundation of your entire home. And as you take these steps to heal, protect, and nurture the energy of your home, remember this: what you do today shapes the energy of tomorrow. By addressing these spiritual weaknesses, you can create a home that is truly a sanctuary, a space where peace reigns, protection surrounds you, and negativity has no place. As you move forward, continue to be mindful, intentional, and proactive in cultivating an environment that supports your highest good. Your home is a reflection of your inner world, so make it a place that reflects love, peace, and positive energy.